is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As we look at this fundamental question of free speech and where we cross the line is certainly something that is not new in terms of how we argue this point. And yet here I find it interesting today that some of the direction we are going seems to be at odds with what we've looked at institutions of higher learning at being the beacon of free speech, which would not normally be the norm, and now all of a sudden we're there. Without giving a name of the particular university, I was really surprised to find that there was a free speech zone that allowed to actually be out of the mainstream view of most people, and they allowed you to write in chalk. But it was the chalk that was written in, the word Trump was there, and all of a sudden people got fearful for Trump being written in chalk. Now, I went by this, and I can't imagine anybody being afraid of a chalk drawing on a sidewalk. And if that's the case, then I would say that there's probably bathrooms all over this country where people would not want to go in for fear of what they may see on a bathroom wall. So let's don't take it to extremes, and let's make sure that we understand that free speech is the bedrock of who we are. It is truly what we must fight for, and if we start to take it to extremes, we have a problem. That being said, as an evangelical, I come out very strongly in defense of my Jewish friends who have had persecution for years, and yet somehow on college campuses, it is not okay to defend that. In fact, we go the other way to suggest that they shouldn't be defended, and I find that offensive. And until we get that right, we're going to have a number of issues. So with that opening statement, let me go into a couple of questions. Mr. Zimmerman, I'm a little concerned, and I understand that you perhaps have been critical of your previous alma mater, we might say, or place of employment, Evergreen State College, because I look here and we've had $22 million in grants and scholarship aids that have gone to them. We've had over $7 million in federal grants that have gone to them. We've had another $15 million in student loans, and yet we're seeing a chilling effect on free speech. Do you think they're getting it wrong?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. And I assume that you would say that. Do you think that they took bad advice from someone when they were invited here to testify and they said that a member of Congress said that they shouldn't come before the Oversight Committee to defend their position? Do you think that that was misinformed? I can answer it. The answer is yes. Would you agree with that?
That's not for me to say.
Well, would it be for you to say that if we're going to take away federal dollars from universities who will not truly defend free speech, that would be appropriate? I'm sure that they would want to weigh in on that.
Oh, I believe every administrator on every campus ought to be defending free speech, absolutely.
Right. So, Mr. Lawrence, let me come to you, because I understand with your new position at ADL, of which many times people on my side of the aisle would see them as being in contrast to that. I don't. In fact, I've encouraged my son to actually join you in really fighting for those things that are critical. But I am troubled by one part of your kumbaya opening testemony.
I take it you mean that as a compliment, Congressman.
Well, I wouldn't take it that way yet, so let's go ahead and go there. Here is my concern, because in your previous career, you talked about, well, we're all about free speech, and we are really there. And yet, there was a certain young lady, a Somalia-born activist, that was disinvited from getting an honorary degree at your direction, and it was in 2014 where Miss Ali was disinvited because, quote, the university defended this decision, saying it could not, quote, overlook certain of her past statements that are inconsistent with Brandeis University core values, close quote. Now, the problem is she is espousing anti-Islamic views and the promotion of women's rights. So which one of those are against their core views?
First of all, neither of those.
So they're both your core views.
But what I would say, no, I would say neither of those was the subject of.
So why did she get why did you disinvite her when she is being a true activist? Do you think that some terrorists in some foreign land are upset and fearful for their life because of her words?
No, I would say two things, Congressman. First of all, and I think it's critically important.
So was this a correct decision?
If I may respond.
Respond to that one first, and then I'll let you go ahead and opine on the other. Was this a correct decision?
Yeah, I believe that was a correct decision.
Based on what?
May I
sure.
answer? First thing,
Briefly, I only have 5 minutes.
well, I'll use as little of your 5 minutes as I can to give a full answer. First, in terms of this hearing, and particularly relevant to this hearing, nothing in this decision was about free speech. She had, my entire time as president, and I have every reason to believe my successor would say the same thing, an open invitation to speak on campus. So this was not about free speech.
So it was just about honoring her free speech.
It was about honoring the same
So
way.
you didn't want to honor her free speech
It's
that
not
protects
about,
women.
Her speech about women is admirable and was the reason, in large part, for the original invitation. There was speech that specifically said that Islam should be crushed. And when she was asked, this is on the record, when she was asked, you mean radical Islam, you don't mean all Islam, she said, no, I mean all Islam. This is in direct response to that question. It must be crushed and something new built on its level. If someone had said that about Christianity, if someone had said that about Judaism, that is someone who would not have been honored by Brandeis University. Would they have been free to speak? Absolutely.
So I assume since you pulled away her doctorate, you invited her back to give lectures on a regular basis, right?
Did that publicly and did that personally and privately.
And so she did. She felt welcome to do that?
I can't say whether she felt welcome.
I can. So did she feel welcome from you, Mr. Lawrence?
She did, in fact, not come to campus for a public event. She did come to campus subsequently for events, a program at the business school. But she had a standing invitation.
So do you not see what you did had a chilling effect on her free speech? You know, she's out there actually.
I would put it in the same category, Congressman, as a...
I know you would, but I wouldn't put it in the same category as what? Go ahead, I'll let you finish.
All right, a university, a faith-based university that said that although students are free to express pro-choice views, we will not give an honorary degree to someone who is an advocate.
So are you saying that what you should do is actually, I'll yield back.
Time, place, and manner.
I may not be the only one in the room who wanted to hear how that sentence ended.
So much